Hello everyone, welcome to Informatica support video. This is Shruti from Informatica GCS, and in this video we are going to discuss about REST API calls in Axon version 5.4. So before moving further, let's see the agenda for this video. So we will discuss here regarding the what all REST API calls we can make in Axon. Thereafter, we will see the basics of REST API calls, and then we'll see how to retrieve DQ rules from Axon using REST API calls. Let's move towards our first topic, that is APIs in Axon. So, by making REST API calls to Axon, you can retrieve Axon objects and display them in the REST API client. Further, you can send these objects or this information that has been fetched from Axon to another application and can reuse them for other purposes. So, let's see what all actions we can perform using REST API calls in Axon. So, the we can retrieve DQ rules from Axon. So whatever DQ rules are present there currently in your Axon instance, you can retrieve all those DQ rules. Then the second thing is you can update DQ rules score. So there are basically three methods to upload these scores for the DQ rules whatever is present in Axon. The first way is either you can upload the scores manually. Secondly, if your Axon is integrated with IDQ, then it will fetch the reports from IDQ. Or the third option is to make use of REST API calls. So by using REST API calls, you can upload the scores for the particular DQ rule. Then the third thing that we can do using REST API call is to retrieve primary objects and their linked objects. So currently in this version of Axon, that is 5.4, we can retrieve two type of primary objects, that is process and glossary. So suppose for example, I have a process named KYC in my instance and I want to retrieve all information regarding that process. That is the basic information regarding that process as well as the other linked objects to that particular process KYC. So for this purpose, I can use a REST API call. So moving further, let's see the basic steps for REST API calls. So as we all know that Axon is a data governance tool. So we don't want to allow anyone to fetch information from Axon or to update any existing value in Axon who is not authorized for that. So just for that, before making any REST API call, it is mandatory to authenticate yourself. That is, you have to provide your username and password. Then, if that particular user is present in Axon, then Axon accordingly sends you a JWT token. Then you can use that JWT token for your further calls. So one of the mostly asked question here is that whether only super admin credentials we can use for getting the JWT token. Answer is no. Even we can use the credentials of a web user or even of an admin or a super admin. So the purpose here only is to ensure that whatever user or whatever user authentication you are using here for making REST API call is already present in your Axon instance. If it is already present, you will get the JWT token and you can proceed further. If that user is not present in Axon, then it will not allow you. So once you get the JWT token, then you can make the another REST API call according to your purpose. For example, if you want to retrieve DQ rules from Axon, you can make a call accordingly. So let's now see how to retrieve DQ rules from Axon. So in this video, which is the first part of REST API calls in version 5.4, we will discuss about how to retrieve DQ rules from Axon. Then in the second video, we will discuss how to update reports to DQ rules. Then finally in the third video or in the third part, we will discuss how to retrieve primary objects and their linked objects. So before proceeding further, if you are also doing REST API calls side by side, so first make sure that you have a REST API client like Postman. And in all these videos, I will use Postman client. So let's go to our Postman client. So this is our Postman REST API client. So I will wait. Firstly, I have to make one call for getting the JWT token. So for that, we have to make a call of post type. Then under authorization, make sure that you will select no auth. Thereafter here, we have to give the required URL. So that URL will be your Axon instance host name followed by the port number followed by API login underscore check. So this is your URL. Thereafter, you have to go to body and then select form data, and here you have to provide the username and password. So here I am using the default superadmin username and password. You can use any other users credentials as well. Thereafter you can just click on send, and as you will see that here is our JWT token, and the status which it is showing here is 200 OK, which means whatever call we have made, that is successful. Now make sure to copy this JWT token, as we have to use this token only for our further calls. So just copy this token value. Now we will do another call for retrieving all the DQ rules from Axon, and this call will be of get type, and here your URL will be again your Axon instance host followed by port number, then API v1 DQ rules. Again under authorization just select no auth. Then under headers we have to first provide content type as application JSON. Then finally the authentication token authorization, and here we have to we have to paste here the JWT token whatever we have received from first step, and before pasting that token we just have to write bearer space and then the token value. So this is my token, and under body this time we don't have to provide anything. Now we just have to click on send to see all the DQ rules whichever is present in Axon. So here are our DQ rules. So currently in my instance there are total 335 DQ rules, and as you can see here these are all the DQ rules. It will show you the complete list. So let's understand this response. So as you can see the total count here is 335. Then under results one by one it will display information regarding all these 335 rules. So for example here it will show just a status, dimension name, reference number, technical description, created date time, last updated date time, etc. If an attribute is linked with that DQ rule, it will show that attribute name also. And if that DQ rule has been scheduled for a particular time or something like that, so you can see it from here whenever it has been scheduled, like even if it has been scheduled for a daily frequency or anything. So all those information you will see here. So now let's verify it once whether in my Axon instance there are 335 rules only. So let's go to my Axon instance. So this is my Axon instance. As you can see here, the total data quality rules are 335. So we have successfully fetched all these data quality rules in our REST API client. So this is all about this video. If you have any further queries or if you have any suggestions or feedback regarding this video, please contact us using these links. Thank you for watching the video.